Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up.
Hello, welcome back to Mia Likes Movies. My name is Mia and I like movies, I guess. We're gonna talk about the Oscar nominations. I think they came out on Tuesday of this week. Perhaps, I don't know. It's been a long week. I almost never watch all the Oscar nominated films for Best Picture. It's always my goal to watch all the Best Picture nominations. However, it just never ends up happening. I will make it a goal again this year, but I doubt it will happen. That being said, the only Best Picture nomination that I have seen is Barbie, and I enjoyed Barbie. If you're new here, hi, thank you for being here. My name is Mia, like I said. I like movies, I like video games, I like talking a lot to myself in my room. How this channel kind of works is that we do a video essay, let's play, because that's what I like to do. If that sounds like content that you enjoy, feel free to stick around. If not, no worries. Thank you for even considering. I have all my notes on my phone. I made a spreadsheet. I used to work at a nonprofit, so I have some experience in Excel or Google Sheets or whatever, so don't get too excited. Since I very rarely watch all the Best Pictures, I don't have opinions that some would say are valid on these performances, and the specific categories that I want to talk about today are all the acting categories, Best Picture, and Best Director. All the acting categories, because I'm an actor, my degree's in acting, that's what I like, and those are not the most visual because film is a visual media, but a lot of people kind of see them as representations of film in a way, since they're the ones you see on screen, the people. Best Director, because I find it easier to predict who is going to win Best Director versus Best Screenplay, and then Best Picture because that's the big award of the night. How I like to go through my predictions, because I don't watch movies, I like movies, I'm not good at watching them, is that I like to look at all the other award shows because I love award shows. If you look at other award shows, you can kind of see trends on where it's going and general consensus from critics and things like that. The nominations and wins that we're looking at are from the Critics' Choice Awards, the Golden Globes, and then the SAG Awards. The SAG Award nominations have been announced, but the SAG Awards don't actually air until February, I think. First, let's start with just going over all those award shows that I talked about, because I think it's important to talk about who makes up each of the award shows, how they're different, why they're different, and how that can help us inform the Oscars. Critics' Choice Awards. So basically it's all broadcast, radio, and online critics, as well as entertainment journalists, and they review films and documentaries and unscripted television, so like reality TV shows, competition TV shows, etc. The Critics' Choice Awards are voted on by the Critics' Choice Association, so you have to be a professional film critic or entertainment journalist whose coverage is available on a regular basis. So if you're the online critic, you have to be the primary critic for your site. Radio critics must be heard in New York or LA, or at least 5 markets in addition to their primary radio station, which I thought was interesting. And they also have a list of all their members on the website. So that in my research for the Critics' Choice Awards, it was actually really interesting to see how transparent they were about a lot of things, which is good because they're journalists, or a lot of them are. What I did find was interesting is that in a 2021 survey, 68 members of the Critics' Choice Association were male, 75% were white, 17% identified as LGBTQ+, and 9 identified as disabled. And only members of the Critics' Choice Association can vote for the Critics' Choice Awards. Those are the Critics' Choice Awards. The Golden Globes, on the other hand, are also entertainment journalists. But what's interesting is that it's international markets. The Golden Globes were launched in 1944 by foreign journalists covering Hollywood, and the Golden Globes were a way of recognizing the best talent from the perspective of international journalists, and that's where the Hollywood Foreign Press Association came from. However, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association no longer puts on the Golden Globes as of last year. So as of 2023, the Golden Globes were bought by Dick Clark Productions in Eldridge because the Hollywood Press Association really sucks, and they were super white and super racist. It's funny though, because when I studied abroad in London, I had a professor go, "Oh, we're not racist here." Which is funny because, like, didn't y'all invent it? Like, kind of. When people are like, Americans are racist, it's like, yeah, but America's stemmed from England. Anyway, it used to be not for profit, but now because it was bought by Dick Clark Productions and Eldridge, it is now for profit. So basically the Golden Globes are now like just their own thing. That's It's kind of just like what they do. They put on these awards. So that's the Golden Globes. The SAG Awards, pretty straightforward in the sense that the SAG Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, are members of SAG-AFTRA. Only members of SAG-AFTRA can vote. It's acting-based awards, voted and nominated by actors for actors. What I found interesting though about the SAG Awards this year is that they're being streamed exclusively on Netflix, which is so funny considering the strike that we just had was all about how we don't get enough money from residuals from streaming services. There was more to it than that, but a large part of it was that our residuals sucked specifically due to streaming services taking advantage of artists, specifically actors. Like, that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, is that crazy? Is that weird? Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Maybe I am. Finally, the Oscars, right? So we all know the Oscars. People thank the Academy in their speeches. They're thanking the Academy of Motion Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts, and Sciences. Basically, it's this huge group, huge but elitist. I love you, the Academy. Please let me in one day. Group of people who make films. It's kind of a non-profit. It just kind of celebrates film and filmmaking and filmmakers. Academy membership is limited to film artists working in the production of theatrically released motion pictures. And there's 18 branches of the Academy. There's the actors branch, and then there's the music branch, and there's the directors branch, and they all make up the Academy. So membership is like super exclusive. It's by invitation from the Board of Governors. You can be directly invited in, or if you're nominated for an Academy Award and you weren't previously in the Academy, you then automatically become a part of the Academy. If you're a person who's trying to campaign to get into the Academy, you have to be sponsored by someone in the branch that you want to be a part of. So like if I suddenly decided I wanted to join the Academy, I would have to find someone in the Academy currently in the branch that would want to join to sponsor me. So like Pedro Pascal. It's not even funny. Oh, I read it wrong. You have to be sponsored by 2 people. For deciding who gets nominated, each branch votes on the categories that have to do with them. It's kind of like the presidential primaries in a way, how people who are registered as Democrats can only vote in the Democratic primaries, but when you are going to actually vote for the president, you can technically vote for any party. It's kind of like that. So like if you're in the writers branch, you can vote for who gets nominated for the writing awards, but you get to vote for everyone, not the nominations. So when you're voting for the winners. Does that make sense? How they calculate the votes is that whoever gets the most votes wins, except for Best Picture, where they do it in a very special way, which is called preferential voting, which is really interesting because there's so many nominations for Best Picture versus like any other category. And so how preferential voting works is that whoever gets 50% or more of the total votes wins. But if no one gets over 50% of the votes, then they basically knock out whoever has the least amount of votes and then redistribute the votes from there until someone gets at least 50% of the votes. That's why Best Picture is such an interesting win, because it's not just like whichever one gets the most votes wins. It's whoever gets at least 50% of all votes. So that's kind of a rundown. Are you still with me? Are you here? I'm not an expert on this. I'm just like a big fan of award shows. I've always wanted to go to one. I went to a lot of awards in high school, and that was the closest I ever got. I have like my little spreadsheet here, and basically I have the Critics' Choice, Golden Globes, SAG Awards, and then the Academy Awards, and it has the nominations, and then I bold who won. The thing about the Golden Globes is that they separate it by they separate it by drama versus comedy or musical. It makes my life harder. Well, that kind of like messes up the trend. For example, actor in a leading role. Critics' Choice Award, Paul Giamatti won for The Holdovers. In the Golden Globes, Paul Giamatti also won for The Holdovers, but that was for comedy or musical. Cillian Murphy won for Oppenheimer for drama. And then we don't know who won the SAG Award yet, but they're both up for it. Now, the Oscars notoriously hate comedies. I haven't seen The Holdovers. I didn't know it was a comedy. In the sense that we know that Paul Giamatti won Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes, I have a feeling that Paul Giamatti will probably win the Oscar. Like, I wouldn't put money on it yet until after the SAG Awards. I think the reason also why Paul Giamatti will win and not Cillian is because this is Paul Giamatti's second nomination versus Cillian Murphy's first. Even though they've both been in the industry for a long time, maybe this is just me, but it feels like Paul Giamatti has been in the industry for so long. Like, he was a part of my childhood, right? Because of, what is it called? Big Fat Liar? When he turned blue? Oh my God! And so it kind of feels like a repeat of the Brendan Fraser moment from when Brendan Fraser finally won an award and got recognized after a big comeback. It feels like this could be that for Paul Giamatti. I'm sure we'll see Cillian nominated again. We all know Cillian Murphy will be back. So it feels like Hollywood will just give it to Paul. Because the thing about the Oscars and all award shows, but especially the Oscars, is that it's very political. That's why when people say, well, it's finally her year. And they don't always mean it in the sense where it's like, oh, she gave the best performance of her life. Someone could, for lack of a better term, slay the house down boots and still not win because someone else had 3 nominations and they finally decide, well, it's her 4th and she might die next year. So, you know what I mean? Actor in a supporting role. Robert Downey Jr. won the Critics' Choice Award and the Golden Globe Award. And he's also up for SAG and the Oscar. And I'm pretty sure that he will win it. And the thing about the supporting categories in the Golden Globes is that those aren't split, even though the lead acting categories are. Make it make sense? It doesn't. Everyone is talking about Ryan Gosling. He's not going to win for Barbie. Love that he is. But especially after the Margot Robbie drama and the Greta Gerwig snub, if Ryan Gosling wins this, I think blonde women might burn the world. And we can't have that. I don't want to die at the hands of a blonde woman. No, thank you. Robert Downey Jr. is also kind of like, Hollywood staple and a legend. Like, he's had the Marvel success, but as far as like real actor, like he hasn't really gotten that kind of recognition yet. So this feels like Hollywood would give him the Oscar to be like, here you go, you can die happy now. Actress in a leading role. Emma Stone won the Critics' Choice Award for Poor Things. Emma Stone also won the Golden Globe for Best Leading Actress in a Comedy or Musical. Lily Gladstone won for Killers of the Flower Moon for Lead Actress in a Drama. They are also both nominated for the SAG Awards, and they're also both nominated for the Oscars. I feel like the race is pretty much between those two. Everyone's talking about Emma Stone and Poor Things. Everyone is loving Poor Things. I haven't seen it. And Emma already has an Oscar. Lily Gladstone is, I believe she's the first Native American and or Indigenous person to be nominated for an Oscar, at least for actress in a leading role. And I heard her performance was phenomenal. So I want Lily Gladstone to win. It has to be her to win. If not, it's going to feel like the La La Land Moonlight incident, but worse. And Emma Stone can't be a part of 2 controversies like that. It doesn't look good for her. But if Emma does win, I won't be surprised, just disappointed. Okay, so is this where we should talk about Margot Robbie? Sure. I understand why Margot Robbie wasn't nominated. If you look at who was nominated, the only one who really got nominated for a comedy really is Emma Stone. I, Tonya was a transformation. Barbie, I loved it. I cried so much. I saw it twice in theaters. I told my mom to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, I love Barbie. And maybe this is my internalized misogyny. I'm still kind of shocked that people are seeing it as an Oscar film. Like, it was like a 2-hour commercial. I don't even know if any of that is making sense. She's nominated as a producer technically because she produced the Barbie movie, and Best Picture is awarded to the producers of the film. So technically she is nominated. If you look at all the performances that are being considered, I understand why she wasn't nominated. Moving on to actress in a supporting role. Davine Joy Randolph. She's won everything else so far. I feel like she's really been the standout performer this year. I'm happy to see that Danielle Brooks was nominated for the Oscar, as well as America Ferrera. Davine Joy, if she doesn't win it, I will be shocked. Now, the thing about directing and Best Picture is that the SAG Awards don't do those two. So we're really only going off of the Critics' Choice Awards and the Golden Globes for these, or at least I am. Christopher Nolan has won directing for both the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards. Maybe Killers of the Flower Moon could win Best Director for Scorsese, but since he hasn't won the other 2, I would be really shocked. And for Best Picture, again, Golden Globes splits them between drama and comedy or musical. Oppenheimer won the Critics' Choice Award as well as the Golden Globe for drama. Poor Things won comedy or musical over Barbie. It seems like the race might actually be between Oppenheimer and Poor Things in a way, especially since Poor Things has been overall just winning. People really like Poor Things. And by people, I mean the film boys seem to like Poor Things more than Barbie. I haven't watched it, so I can't really speak to it. Yorgos Lanthimos is a really good director, and he has been nominated in the past, and the Academy just doesn't seem to like Greta Gerwig as much. But also, because it might actually be between Poor Things and Oppenheimer. That might split the vote. We could get Barbie winning, and it could be like an underdog moment. And it also, because a lot of people think Barbie was snubbed, that they might give Best Picture to Barbie just because they were snubbed. So people might vote for that because they feel bad. And so then Greta and Margot will have that win. So that's also a choice. I'm not really set on who's going to win Best Picture yet. If I had to put money on it now, I would say Oppenheimer. Those are kind of my predictions and thoughts, and I guess kind of an explanation on award season so far, specifically with the Oscars. If you want more Oscars coverage, let me know. Like I said, I don't feel comfortable saying who I think is going to win the acting awards until the SAG awards come out and the winners come out for that, but that's not until I think the first week in February, so it could be a while. But if you want to see updates on my thoughts, if there are any, when those do happen, let me know and I can do that. If there's anything else you want me to cover, let me know. I do have a Trolls Band Together video coming up. I've started the script. I haven't finished it yet, so 2 weeks from now, or it might be a month from now. We'll see. If I was to watch one of the nominated films besides Barbie, since that's the one I have seen, which one should I watch first? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.